Lisa's movies, shares and reviews. I hope you can. Whoops! I hope you can see me in this camera. I don't know if I have it quite right on me or you're too close to me. I'm gonna try my best to do some little small reviews so they don't go over like maybe 10-15 minutes. Someone asked in another video of mine if I'm gonna start putting in like movie clips and pictures. Well, I don't have the editing capabilities for that yet, so just bear with me until I do. I definitely will start doing that. But this is a very small channel of mine, and I don't have the editing capabilities to do that just yet. So let's get into the review, the first review. And these might be, I'll try to do them in one video, or most cases I'll just do different videos. Okay. So the first review is a movie called The Bride from 1985. It was directed by Frank Rodham. If I'm looking down, I got, fuck my face, I got little notes here. So it was directed by Frank Rodham. The music was done by Maurice Jarre. He did Zhivago, Dr. Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, Shogun, Witness. Frank Rodham directed Quadrophenia, Lords of Discipline, and K2. And I've seen all of those, and those are pretty good. So the movie is The Bride. Here is the DVD. I want to get the Blu-ray so bad, but I haven't gotten it yet. Here's the DVD. See, that's Jennifer Beals and Sting. Here's the back. And this is a really good DVD. I got this many years ago. There's not a lot of special features. There's some trailers on it, and there is a director's commentary, which is actually quite insightful, Frank Rodham's commentary on this. So anyways, The Bride is about the Bride of Frankenstein. Sting, if you can believe it, played Frankenstein. He created a man who is played by Clancy Brown before he does, you know, Highlander and the other movies he's really known for. This was before that. This was 1985, as I said, so this was before Highlander. And I think before that he was just in Bad Boys. I'm not sure. But anyways, Clancy Brown plays the monster, and he's given a name called Victor in the film. Ronaldo is a dwarf played by the late David Rappaport. Now, Jennifer Beals plays the bride. She is Frankenstein's bride. He made the man first, the monster, Victor, and apparently it didn't really work out too well, because you can see from the beginning of the film, Victor is pushed aside into this like cell, and he's mistreated, and he's dirty clothes, and you can tell he was very crudely made. You can see big scars, and everything is just, he looks like a monster. But the beginning of the movie, it is the opening of him trying to create the bride. And how he does that was obviously he put pieces of this woman's body together and made Jennifer Beals' character named Eva. And he brought her to life by electric charge. As you can see, this thing right here, and this is her wrapped up, and she's being electrocuted by an electric charge, which brings her to life. And something happens, like she was meant to be for Victor, and then he didn't want her to have, didn't want Victor to have her. And so Victor throws a fit, and he destroys the lab, which starts a huge explosion of fire, and two of his Frankenstein's lab assistants die in the fire and explosion, where Victor gets away, and he runs into the dwarf Ronaldo, who kind of talks him into going to join the circus with him. And I really loved those two's storyline. It was great because you see Victor been treated really bad by him. People are scared when they see him. He's a very big guy, and he's scary looking, right? But Ronaldo, he instantly had an attachment to him as a friend, besides someone that he can carry. He carries him up on his shoulder because, you know, he's a dwarf. He just carries him on his shoulder and walks with him. It's his means of transportation, but they become really good friends. And Ronaldo doesn't see him as a monster or anything. In fact, anyone calls him an ape or a monster, he gets pretty pissed off. But, and then the other part of the story is about these two. He creates this woman, Eva, so she's, basically, she doesn't know who she is or what to do. She's a child, so he can mold her into anything he wants. And what he wants to do is mold her into a woman who is equal to a man. And, you know, if you hear these weird sounds, I'm not farting. It's just my socks smashing, making noise against the chair. Sorry. Sorry. But anyways, you know, but teaching her certain things creates her to be much more independent than he likes. And she kind of becomes more independent and free-spirited and thinks for herself, and then she starts getting curious about where she came from. How come he says he found someone found her in a forest, she got struck by lightning, which is not necessarily untrue, but you know, she went missing. She's like, well, how come I went to, she goes to, which I think was a deleted scene, but she goes into the village that he says he was found in. No one recognizes her. She says, how come no one recognizes her? If someone knew who she was, they would recognize her. So she starts to question things. And, well, I'm not going to give away the ending. The ending is this, he kind of goes berserk, and, you know, and then him and Victor fight. Because Victor has some kind of a, I don't know how to explain it, like, it's kind of a telepathic connection with Eva. When Victor is really sad and crying about a scene that happens in the movie, a really sad moment, she feels that pain and she cries. But when she's in peril and scared for her life, he feels that and he wants to go save her, and he eventually, okay, spoiler, he does. But what happens, you have to watch it to find out. So, this is not a typical Frankenstein movie. You've seen the one by Kenneth Branagh with Robert De Niro. Well, I guess that was okay. I mean, it's a little bit better than this, but I like the movie because I used to watch it when I was younger. I'm a fan of Sting. I love Jennifer Beals. I like Clancy Brown. I just like the story. You know, a lot of people don't like Sting's acting. He's not an actor, but he's done a lot of films you probably don't know about. But people gave Jennifer Beals a lot of shit for her performance in this movie, and I didn't understand why. I thought it was rather good. I mean, how is she supposed to act? She acts like a child a lot in scenes, and an animal a lot in scenes, but how is she supposed to act when she doesn't know who she is? Or where she's from? You would act a little irrational too. I think my favorite performance in this movie is by Clancy Brown, who plays Victor, the monster. Hold on, my eyelash is bugging. Sorry. So, and I like his performance, and I like the storyline with Ronaldo the most, when they travel to Budapest. And with Victor, he gets a name, he has a friendship, and he's not made fun of. He's quite loved by Ronaldo, but he also learns that something that dreams are important to have, because he didn't know what that meant. You know, and Ronaldo's dream was to visit Venice. And no spoiler, at the end of the film, he visits Venice for Ronaldo. And I think I just made another spoiler too. Oh goodness. I'm just going to put spoiler up here. Yes, Ronaldo does die. I'm sorry. But you have to watch the film. Just, you know, it's kind of like you just see it just out of curiosity. You might like it. It might be hit and miss for you. It's hit and miss for me once in a while. But sometimes I just like to watch it for the nostalgia factor. So for me, I know I used to give things an A to a B. I'm just going to do stars now. I would give this maybe 2.5 to 3 stars. I mean, I liked it, yet it's not spectacular. But it's something I grew up watching. So it's always in my heart, these films are nostalgic for me. That I always love to watch, and I have a high love for, you know, like, what was that they named? One of the worst movies ever made was Howard the Duck. I love that movie. It's one of my most favorite damn movies in the world. And they act like it's a guilty pleasure, but pleasure shouldn't feel guilty. So I don't feel guilty watching it. It's one of my favorite movies. So, that being said, you need to check this out if you're curious about watching a different kind of reimagining of the Frankenstein story, because it would be interesting just to see it. If you haven't seen it, you know, it's just part of another Frankenstein movie to watch. Isn't there, like, I don't know many Frankenstein movies. I know Young Frankenstein and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. And then there's this one. I don't know if there's, well, no. Isn't there I, Frankenstein with James McAvoy? I haven't seen that in years, so. But check it out. The Bride, 1985. Thanks for watching, guys.